Hello everyone. Today is the first day of the World Chess Championship between Ding Liren and Gukesh. And Gukesh could be the youngest chess champion of all the time, and at the age of 18. So today it was the first game, and Liren was black and Gukesh white, and Gukesh opened with so we have e4 and it was a really crazy moment. Liren replied with e6, and is not something of every day that you can see a French defense in a World Chess Championship. But yeah, so really nice moment. And Gukesh controlled the center. So here we have a winner, and Liren went for knight f6. So here I maneuvered the knight, and Gukesh just expanded in the center with f4. There are many ways to play the winner, and one of these is with f4. And here we have c5. So again, here there are many ideas like knight f3, bishop e3, but knight f3 is the main one. But this was a surprise, and here Gukesh played knight e2 with the idea of playing c3, knight f3, reinforce the center, build a huge center that is expanded, but really difficult for black to play this type of structure. And white can attack in a lot of different ways. And Liren just replied with knight c6, so just normal stuff, and we have a c3. And here, after that, Liren spent a lot of time, really a lot of time, and then played a5. And you can check from the time that until this point they were equal in time, but here Liren spent 27 minutes, absolute crazy on move 7. And the idea of this is that you want to first expand on the queen side, because if you don't do anything and you just develop and castle, the problem is that white expansion on the king side is really fast and really dangerous, and you don't really know how to develop this, because if this knight develops on b6, then the queen will have some trouble to develop, and if this knight doesn't develop, then this bishop will not be developed, and this e6 pawn will be weak with pushes like g4, f5 in the future. So yeah, so Liren had to think on something, and he opted for a5 with also another idea that now we will. Here we have a knight f3 and a4. And the idea of Liren, I think, are two. Well, first, after bishop e7 and g4, here we have queen a5, so developing the queen with this move. And the idea is to push a3 and to undermine white center with inducing the push on b3, so this pawn will remain weak. And yeah, so this here we have bishop g2 and a3, so b3, and then just trade in the center. So now that this pawn is weak and this diagonal is weak, Gukesh will be forced with taking back with a piece, or to move before. So if he takes back with a piece, this pawn remains weak, and if he moves before, this pawn will be weak. So yeah, so really nice play by Liren. Here we have before queen c7, and then knight e takes d4, and here knight b6 to take control of the c4 square. So castle and knight c4, and here there are some ideas. Well, first we have to consider what is an endgame, who will win in an endgame, not win, but who will be better, also practically speaking. And I think that white will be black will be better in an endgame, because it's true that white has a huge center, but it's also true that well, black has a pawn on this knight on c4 is really strong, and that can land also on b2, and this center like this in an endgame could be a problem for white because well this center is really strong when you are in a middle game and you want to attack, but when the moves when the pieces start to come out from the board, it's really hard to defend all the pawns because then black can undermine the center also with pushes like g5, not now, but just some ideas. And yeah, and there is always this outpost. Then the structure is closed, and white has the bishop pair. Well, also black has the bishop pair, but you never know. This center so extended is not so good in an endgame. Here we have a bishop f2, just saving the bishop, and bishop d7, queen e2, and just trade. And here there is a huge decision to do. So here Gukesh traded with the knight, but with the bishop was a bit better. With the bishop was better because in this way you are defending also the c3 pawn, and maybe the knight will be remaneuvered in some other ways. Maybe also with knight at d2 if the plan of black of white is to push on f5. But and also maybe to kick away or to threaten this knight on c4 that has a really nice system. But anyway, knight takes d4, and here we have knight b2. Queen e3 is an inaccuracy. It was better to play bishop e1 to protect even more this pawn, because then it will be a problem, that pawn. So here we have queen e3 and rook c8. After rook c8, we have rook a on c1, queen c4, f5, queen d3, offering a queen trade because the endgame is slightly better for black. Here, queen e1, refusing the queen trade, and this is in fact an error because now the black pieces can enter. The queen from here was guarding this diagonal, and now this move is available. So here white is forced to play rook c2, and after rook c4 and h4, we have bishop f4, and now black pieces are inside white position. So white has to do something about that, and yeah, here white opted to play queen b1 and maybe to offer a queen trade in a nice way. But here we have a trade because the c3 pawn was threatened, so Liren wins a pawn. And after trade, white is up a piece, black is up a pawn, sorry. And here another huge moment. Here in this position, black should have captured with the bishop, but instead Liren traded with the pawn. So here we have f takes, and this could be a problem because white kings is not castle yet, and yeah, so with the right moves like knight e2 here, that is what Gukesh played. Here we have queen takes, knight takes, queen takes, and here a strong move was bishop c5, but it's not so clear. Well, white is worse, but the problem is that both players, Gukesh has 10 minutes and Liren has 16 minutes, and here we are at move 30. So Gukesh, both players has to do 10 more moves to reach the time control and to gain other, I think, are other 30 minutes plus the increment. Because at this moment they are playing without the increment, so they have to do 40 moves to reach time control and then to be able to pass on the next stage of the time format. And here the problem is that if well, there is this nice sequence with takes g4, queen takes, because if rook takes, there is checkmate. But here there is a good move that is queen d4 check, and if the bishop takes, then the rook can take the queen, and if bishop c5, just rook h8 back, and everything is under control. And instead, if the king moves, then we have queen takes h4. So we force a queen trade with check, and after king g1, we have bishop b5 or rook h8 is anyway is good, and bishop b5 in order to give the d7 square to the king, to black king. But yeah, here was not so good, so there wasn't this trick. The right move here was rook f3, trying to go for the a3 pawn, and also to double up on the f file. To Because the problem for black is that is not castle, and the king has not so many squares. But anyway, the time was low, and here Gukesh opted for queen c2. So, sorry, I go back to the moves. Okay. Here he opted for queen c2, and this is in fact an error because now we have a queen c4 offering a queen trade, and this queen trade is garbage for white because black has 6 pawns, and white has 4 pawns, and the queen is really helpful to pose some trouble to white to black position. So Gukesh declined the queen trade and played queen d2. And here we have a castle. So now the king is in safety, and in fact, white position start to collapse. After that, we have knight d3, just entering in white structure, and now threatening also the bishop. Here we have queen e3, and rook takes f1, a rook trade. And again, here we have e5 because if bishop takes, we have queen takes, and this is winning. And if queen takes, we have, I think we have first queen takes, and after that, this endgame is winning for black because black is simply up 2 pawns. So yeah, so e5 a really good move, and here Gukesh replied with bishop takes e5, and we have a first check, and after that some more moves. We have bishop f5, try to go for a checkmate and defending the knight. After that, queen rook g3, and here we are at move 37, and look at Gukesh time. He has 24 seconds to do other 3 moves, and it was crazy. I mean, just think that around move 10, Gukesh, I think it was up 45 minutes, and now he has 24 seconds, other 3 moves. Here we have bishop e4, offering a bishop trade, but it's not really a bishop trade because, well, if Gukesh try to decide to capture the bishop, here we have pawn takes, and after that, white king is completely open. Here, if something like king h2, we have. Well, we have many stuff, but also h6 just ends the game because this e4 pawn will never be. White will never be able to trade to take this pawn because it's on a light square, and the queen is protecting it, and the king can't become active. Black is up 2 pawns, so just a hopeless position. But here the game didn't went like this. Here Gukesh played king h2, and here just h6 to not hang anything. The time is low, and you want to reach the 40 moves, so then you will have other 30 additional minutes. Ending will for sure will be able to convert this type of advantage in 30 minutes, but with 2 minutes, if you hurry up too much, the things maybe you lose. So here bishop h3, just to this is not the best move, but is really hard. I mean, here he has 4 seconds, and is just a losing position. So it's really hard to do choices with black, because the more pieces you trade, the more um, the more will be easy for black to win this game. So here Liren spent some quindi 1. And this is the 40th move, and Gukesh has 4 seconds, and he played bishop d6 with 1 second on the clock. Here you can see that he has 30 minutes and 30 seconds, because they add the time format was adjourned, and he gained this 30-second bonus of each move. And well, Lirena has to do his 40th move, and he for a moment, but then he has to deliver a check, because I mean, check is good, and then you will understand what to do. And here, King G3, and Queen takes A2. So just took a pawn. And here we have Bishop E6 check, but after King H8, the game just ended, and Gukesh resigned. And this was the game. And to notice that this move, King H8, is the only move to draw this game, to win this game, because if King H7, we have Queen. I think we have Queen E4 check, yeah, and after that there is Queen capture, and here is still a draw, but really hard for black to draw this game, but possible. So yeah, this was the game. Absolute crazy. I think. Well, we have to consider that is the first game of the World Championship, and generally in the first game is always calm, because you have to get used to the tournament. You have to get used to the emotion, the stress. You want to see how the field is, how much your opponent is prepared, and is common to see a first game of a world chess championship so crazy. I think it was like 20, 30 years that the first game was not decisive, but like this. So, I mean, I can't express myself in better words. So nothing. This was the game, and we will cover all the games of this 2024 chess championship, and we will win. We will see who will win. For sure, both players are really strong, and Liren had some troubles in the previous month, and he didn't participate so much in the tournaments. The last game that they follow, well, I think he participated in the Olympiad. I think. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't follow so much his tournaments in the previous month, but I follow the one that he hung mate in two against Carson, and it was a pity, because I mean he is the world champion, and it's just a pity to see that the world champion doesn't feel so good sometimes. But in this game, he played really, really well, and also Gukesh, he posed some trouble in the opening with time pressure, and then he just well, he pushed some pawns, and he didn't. He let some counterplay, and it was really hard. But I mean, it's his first world championship. He is 18 years old, so really young. And for sure, even if he always seems calm, I think that he feels the pressure. But well, a lot of games to be played. So so we will see who will be the champion. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not able to speak today. So I will end this video. I hope you like it. See you in the next video.